I would have to say that meal prep is one of the very top tips that I would recommend anyone to help them save money, especially if you're like me and you buy a whole lot of stuff that is marked down. You need to make sure that you're dealing with it and not doing what I do and stick it in the fridge for 2 days. You need to keep on top of it. And if you can meal prep everything, especially in batches, divide it all up into meals, it's going to make mealtime a lot easier and save you thousands, because you don't have to defrost a whole lot of meat and then cook a whole lot of meat and just keep doing this over and over again. You can just divide it up into meal portions and then just defrost what you need. So as you see here, I've got a whole lot of meat that is marked down. We had some steak, we had some meatballs, we have chicken, we had burger patties. So I divide all of that up and then it's ready to go. So the steak gets turned into steak, chopped up for stir fry, chopped up also for a stew, and then it is all packaged up and labeled, because that's the other thing, you need to label your bags. I always say, oh, I'll remember, don't worry about it, and I never do. So I've put here, they're plain mince. I've got 2 lots of bags, and this one was mince for my daughter. When we were still having a lot of her allergy issues, I had used a different tomato puree for hers. So I cooked everything up, which is what I've been doing a lot lately. The same here with this chicken dish. I've been pre-cooking some of my meals and then freeze it, so all I have to do is defrost stuff and heat it up. I'm trying that at the moment to see if life is a bit easier, because I'm having to cook 2 to 3 different meals every night and it can get very crazy. I also have been cleaning out the fridge, as you've previously seen, and parts of this video I was opening it and pulling stuff out like before, and I would do it for 1 or 2 days and film 1 or 2 bits, and the next thing I'd realized I pulled out 3 or 4 containers and hadn't filmed it. So I just took all those bits out, and you'll just see me here with the food on the bench dealing with it. So I had 2 kilos of Granny Smith apples. So I peeled about 1 kilo, and then I got hubby to peel the other kilo the next day, and I chopped them all up and I pureed them, and then I put them into these containers. And that did sit in the fridge for a couple of days, I'm not going to lie, and then the rest of it got thrown in the freezer. But yes, we have apple crumble often because it's super easy to make. I got this lamb mince marked down. It was like $4.50 a kilo or something, so I did get a couple of packets. And we had one here that you can see at the back. I would have done an upside down shepherd's pie. And then the other packet I cooked for lasagna base. We love lasagna in our house, but it is such an effort. Although I've been seeing on TikTok lately, so many people are doing 1 pot lasagnas, and I'm thinking I so need to give that a go, because I need to save my sanity as well as money. Some days, the days are getting so busy that sometimes dinner time is a challenge. So if there's anything I can do to help save me time as well as money, then I am all for it. So I pre-cooked up all the lasagna things, and all I have to do is reheat it, make the white sauce, and then put it all together. And the lasagna that I make covers us for 2 nights of meals. So that's really handy. Of course, we always get chicken, and our favorite now is panko crumb chicken. So I always prep at least 1 kilo's worth, and then I divide it all up into the chicken that we'll have with dinner with either chips or veggies, or we now create our own chicken patties for burgers. I have been so blessed to find a lot of cream marked down lately, so I've been making my own butter and causing a ruckus on TikTok. But hey, anything that we can do to save money, and while this might not be the best time saver, I often do this on the weekend when I'm home anyway and I'm doing other stuff, as you can see here. So making butter in the background while I was making cookies, and probably also getting dinner ready as well. I've always got 2 or 3 things on the go, and I've been trying to dedicate actually time on the weekends to make sure that I am starting to meal prep and batch cook, especially the cookies and cakes and other things, and just have stuff there ready to go so the weeks run a bit easier. And I must admit, I get to the end of the week and think, wow, that was a smooth week. So I'm happy with the progress that we've been making so far. You guys know, of course, that I like to make chocolate milk, and I'm actually looking at also how to make our own chocolate syrup because, again, saving money. But yeah, I don't know whether it's worth my time or sanity, but who knows. I'm always willing to give something a go once, and we'll see how we go. And of course, making the butter, we have buttermilk left over, which I put into a container, and I save that to make buttermilk pancakes. Chicken also, we will blanch that, and then I put it in the mix master to create shredded chicken. It gets turned into the pizzas, risotto, and also in sandwiches. We sometimes do double cook-ups, as I said, when we have things. This was the chicken dish that my daughter created, and she made way too much, but on purpose, so she would have leftovers. So what I did is I divided it up to make sure that it was 2 meals worth, and she can bulk it up with some pasta or noodles, and it just all goes into the freezer, so it's there. You can see the other bags of stuff that I've had in there as well. So yeah, we've been getting really busy with meal prep. I got this pie marked down that was $5.88, so I figured divide it by 4, it is less than $2 for a piece, which is about the same size as a pie. And I thought, perfect. What I'll do is I'll now cut it up into 4 pieces, and then I'll wrap up each pie individually and refreeze it. So then when it's wrapped up in the foil like this, I just have to throw it in the oven, even if it is frozen, and it will cook. And it did, and it was fine. What I normally do is I cook the whole pie on a Saturday night, and then there is half of the pie left the next day for hubby and I to have for lunch. However, we've lately been having pancakes at about lunchtime, so we're not even hungry for the pie, and so I then just turn it into dinner. But sometimes it can be a bit frustrating having pie 2 nights in a row. So I thought if I divide it up by 4, we're only cooking the sections that we need. Of course, I get pumpkin that is marked down because even at $2 a kilo, which is what this lot was, it's still a lot cheaper than me buying it, cutting it up, peeling it myself. So I just throw it in the freezer and it will be there ready for when I need it. Any chance I can get bread rolls marked down, I will pick them up because, as I said, we like pancakes on the weekend, but we also like French toast, so anything that makes my life easier is always good for me. So for half of the rolls, I cut them up lengthwise and I froze them, and they'll be ready for pizza subs or meatball subs or garlic bread, and then the others I've chopped up here ready for the French toast, and it goes all into the freezer. Now that grapes have come down in price, I've been buying them very often, but noticing that unless they're prepped and ready to go, they're not always being eaten. So I make sure I put them into a clear container and put them into the fridge, washed and pulled off of the little vine that it is. I got this container a while ago when I was op shopping, and I'm now using it for my daughter's oat cookies so I can reclaim back the Tupperware container that she was using. And I'm pre-making up the panko crumb mix that I've got there with the Parmesan cheese, and then I don't have to do it next time I want to make the panko chicken. I can just dish it out of this container instead of having to make it into the bowl every time. I got this veggie mix marked down to 65 cents, could not believe my luck, and I managed to keep and freeze a chicken carcass, and so I've been able to make my own veggie soup. I made sure I put it on low and simmer for about 3 hours, and I got this beautiful golden color. Here's a tip: when you put it in the freezer, put a sort of brownie tray over the top of it, and then you can put your other very liquidy stock on top, and when it freezes it will hopefully freeze nice and flat, compared if the 2 bags are sitting right on top of each other. They tend to move around and then they freeze in a weird shape. When I make a quiche, there's always enough for leftovers, so what I've been doing is freezing the sections, so if I need something quick and easy for an evening, I can just reheat it. We usually have chips or veggies on the side as well, but it helps if something of the main is pretty much already cooked. I've been working on a zero waste policy as well in the kitchen, so just about anything that gets left over I've been putting into Ziploc bags and throwing it in the fridge to either use the next day, because I've been making a real conscious effort to do that, or I'm throwing it in the freezer. Sometimes we have a share plate in the afternoon, and whatever is left over again goes into see-through containers and gets thrown into the fridge so people will snack on it through the week. I'm restocking the pantry as well. We have these beautiful clear containers that I got from Kmart. They change the lids all the time, so if you can't find them, this was about 12 months ago. And yeah, we use everything in a clear container so people can see it and then things get eaten. I'm putting the corn thins into this container as well, because I noticed that people open the container or the packet and then it just sits there, and then one or two pieces dry out and they get like, they're not crisp anymore. So I thought if I can put them into a container and they fit, which they do, and I was excited about, then that's a way to hopefully save them for a bit longer. And all the little containers, stack inside one another. So we've got some pretzels here that'll stick inside a glass jar. Again, you can then see into it and then people will snack on it. And we've got the chocolate chip cookies there as well. The little chip packets that you can get at the shop now are so expensive. So when I noticed that this packet in store was only $2 for the weight that it was, I thought it would make the perfect opportunity to divide it up into my own little snap bags. I had a look at the packs that we already had here that of course I've bought on clearance, and they weigh just between about 25 and 30 grams. So I figured if I put little Ziploc bags together of all the chips, then that would be perfect. And one of these whole tubes made 6 packets, so for around $2 it's way more than the little individual snack packs that you can get at the shop. And of course, meal prepping helps you have a beautiful looking pantry for at least 2 days until people start getting in there and eating things. But at least it looked beautiful for 5 minutes while I was finished. Let me know if you meal prep, because as I said, for us it saves us so much time and effort. While I do spend a whole day on the weekend doing it, it makes my week so much smoother, and I'm so happy to have done it. And it stops the decision fatigue too of what to do for dinner. I know that everything's kind of pre-done, which has been amazing. Thank you so much for watching today. I so appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.